Welcome back to the MartiniWorks Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's so great to see you. I'm so happy to be here, and we are here with your hosts,
Dakota
and Gels.
And if you're looking for car parts, be sure to modify your car at MartiniWorks.com.
What if we're looking for new mic stands?
If we need the funding for that, so if you could subscribe and or rate the podcast 5 stars, that helps us get better microphone stands. This thing slips every time we film, brother. I can't help. Don't turn me down. I'm angry about this, and I deserve.
Turn down in my headphones. You're
in my ear.
screaming.
I'm sorry.
He's passionate about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's been a lot of change out in the world in the last week, and so we're super thankful that you're back to learn about hopefully some car community news, industry trends, car parts, maybe a little bit of motorsport here and there when a certain blondie comes into the podcast channel. That is a man. But Dakota, what are we starting it off with today?
I'm curious if you can actually cheap out on car parts. We've been modding our cars a long time now. Is there any mods where you're like, you know what? It ain't that bad if you cheap out in this area.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Front lip. I'm still on it, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still on it. I can't help it. It's just like Becca, we just did the M4 coilovers on her car, and we had a full Adro kit on the front. And we used to have a really cheap front lip, and then we got the Adro front lip.
Adro looks good.
Adro looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but it is absolutely beat to shit. Like, it is in some pretty rough, quality concerns after getting ran into the ground for 20,000 miles. And so a part of me has always just said, if you're getting a basic carbon fiber lip just for looks, just find whatever you think looks best. I don't really care about the brand that much because it's going to get absolutely thrashed anyway. I know you loved your front lip, and it was really expensive, and it made the chin huge on the Supra.
It does make you cry every time you hear it hit the ground, though.
But yeah, that's the part that I just can't get over. And honestly, the same thing with the 430. The 430 has Haman lip on the front, which is really fancy.
Come on.
And then I literally within 200 miles, absolutely just smashed
It's guaranteed to hit something.
That's the life of a front
stock height cars bottom out and hit, their bumpers. It's gonna happen.
I know, but just don't spend, $2,500 on a lip. Don't spend $1,500 on get good tires, get a $150 lip. That's my thought.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dels, you got one?
Oh man, it's so tough. Mod wise, yeah, your simple aero stuff, as long as it looks good, there's a lot of stuff out there. It's just carbon overlay. It's not actually full carbon. It's who fucking cares?
Can I? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good.
No.
It's if it's just for instance, a lip like that, or some side skirt extensions or something like that. You're just doing it for the looks anyway, more than likely than not. So it's if you really care about I really want the really good brand, cool. If not, and you just like the way it looks, fine. I would think maintenance wise though, I feel one that always comes around, or at least that I remember, is oil filters. It's is there truly a difference when it comes to filtration?
Yeah, that's a scary one to play around with.
I know oil and air filters in general. It's always does it really fucking matter? And it's I remember going through training when I was working at a parts store, and it was obviously they send over some training stuff or examples, and it was I think it was wicks and microguard, and I was well, look at how much filtration is in the wicks compared to the microguard, and I was yeah, but is it actually doing anything, or they just shove more paper in it?
Right, yeah. Right.
What's really the difference?
There's a really good YouTube channel out there that does a ton of oil and filter testing.
Yeah,
and I came across it for a reel that I was doing with Purelator, which when I do these partnerships, I always try to actually learn are they actually better, or are they
as you should
the same, right? And I had learned from this guy, completely independent third-party study, because he tested 4 filters. One of them was the Purelator Boss Max, whatever. And then one was, I think it was Royal Purple. One was the orange box, the really cheap one, Franz or Mons or something like that. And then the other one was, I don't know, another kind of name brand filter. And what I had realized is the Purelator and these other 2 ones all were within 3% of each other, but all of them are owned by the same company. And then the 4th one, which was the really cheap one, that one did absolutely dog shit. But the Purelator did really, really good at particulates, holding particulates over time, which is essentially
what is a particulate?
Particles.
Particles,
the stuff that
oil, metal, little dirt.
What's the difference between a particle and particulate.
One sounds fancier.
I think particulates is just like how they refer to how much volume can be caught in a space.
Makes me
Wow,
think of,
that's intelligent.
makes me think of percolator.
Well, now we're back down. So anyway, so I learned that, and I was like, oh my God, that's insane. But then you start going down like the oil, that whole thing too,
Dude,
and that can get pretty wild. So that's why I always say, I'm like, I'll do the Purelator filter or OEM if it's not a bajillion billion dollars.
Yeah.
And then with oil, my primary recommendation is always liquid moly because I just liquid moly. And then my second one typically, honestly, because I've had some domestic stuff here and there, plus Becca's ginormous behemoth truck. I know that like AMSOIL,
Jeez. Pricey.
pricey stuff,
Pricey.
stuff. But it's in Wisconsin, baby.
Oil was always another weird one too. Like people would come in for like oil change stuff, and they're like, "God damn, that's like $100 some for like 6 quarts of oil or 5 quarts of oil and a filter." And it's like, yeah, you just get the O'Reilly branded stuff. It's like literally probably the same for $50. And they're like, okay.
I think the oil stuff is tricky.
Dude, it's so weird. And it's like, I know there's like science shit involved in it. I know it probably does matter, but it's like,
I didn't care about it as much until I started getting into the wonky science of the K24.
Sure.
And how the head has to sit like at an angle. And then that started to go into talking about like the drain ports. And then they started to talk about the temps it gets to and why you want a different viscosity so that it doesn't actually flow as much as you want it to. Then I got into the RB conversation with oil. And that's every engine that came from Japan seems to have way more work around what type of oil you need than like
they say like the Euro cars and like BMWs and shit are weird. It's like
no.
Old Japanese cars just as bad, honestly.
Honestly, the Ferrari has been the simplest out of all of them because it's just like
except for filling it. Seems
where
like
am I supposed? Oh, that's a human error. Okay,
I don't know.
A human error.
To be fair, to be on your side,
To be fair.
it should not be that difficult to fill a car with oil.
Turns out, if you have more than one drain plug, you need to use both of those to get all the oil out of your engine.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to insinuate that we may have only done one. However, turns out that when you only dump 70% of the oil out and then you add 100% in, you have 130% of your
Math.
capacity.
Not
We're
good.
back down.
Me at the buffet, like too much.
Yeah, you went for the extra
Too
plate.
I did.
full.
I went for the 2 plates, but then I forgot that I got the Coke.
You're double bowling at Hoo Hot.
I haven't gone to Hoo Hot in years.
I went this weekend.
Nice. You should go. It's a good time.
What do you think is an affordable car part that people go crazy with?
I'm gonna blow the top off here.
Oh shit.
He moved the water.
I think you can cheap out on everything.
What?
But I think you gotta fucking commit if you do it. Okay,
All
listen.
right.
You need to be a professional cheap ass.
Oh, I'm that. I'm that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alex is good at this. So you need to do your fucking due diligence and your research and figure out what's good. So like, for example, we've tried out like Michelin's and Continentals, and then we got on the General.
Yeah.
General's a little bit more affordable tire. True. Everyone that's used it has fucking loved it.
Yep.
We're like, this is really good. This isn't sponsored, by the way, just general feedback. I didn't even try to do that. General G-Max RS we were using specifically, and go check out our video on the main channel on it. But for example, that was a spot that you could save some money and still have a tire that performs pretty dang well. Now, if you look at wheels, let's say the Workamotion Kiwami. But remember, you're professional cheap ass, so you don't care if there's a replica design or something. Well, reps are bad. Koenig makes the Heliogram, which is a very similar style. Mm-hmm. It's lighter, it's newer, comes in some more finishes, some more sizes. There's your little cheap ass route, right?
Yeah.
Coilovers. Let's say you want to get some Fortunatos. God damn, them fuckers like $2,000 now, right? Mm-hmm. Get some lowering springs. Do your research. What's working best? Maybe you have adaptive suspension. Now you get to retain that, and you're spending $400 opposed to $2,000.
Yeah.
I think you can be a professional cheap ass.
It's a good angle.
But you got to commit to it. It's not just going and buying the cheapest thing, because there is shit stuff that is cheap. There is 100%. And I would never recommend getting like $500 coilovers. That's going to be terrible. You're going to hate your car after you put those in. There's certain wheel brands that are just junk, yucky, JNC, that are really gross, and I wouldn't ever recommend getting those. But if you do your research, you go find some stuff, I think you could weasel your way into a cheaper part.
I feel you.
Yeah, I can get
You're
behind
right.
that.
Yeah.
I think you have to be careful not to have that social element of it start to creep its way into the conversation too,
which is tough with social media. And
what do you mean social element? Like others' approval?
Yeah. There's two ways I always see like going about this is there's a difference between going for affordable and being cheap. Like affordability is the best way to build a car. It's 100% the best way to build a car. You're building it for track, drift, car show, doesn't matter. If you can build with a budget in mind and you really aim towards affordability, you're gonna be the one smiling the most at every car show, every track day, every drift day, because you're not the one panicking when you accidentally curb an SSR when you're drifting at US Air because you want it to look cool, right? You know, because sometimes that happens. At the same time, then there's people that are cheap that are like, I don't want to spend the money, but I want to look like those guys, and so they get like the Advan GT rep off of Alibaba that is like made somewhere at some point at some time in its life, but then it's branded as an Advan and it looks like an Advan and everybody's like, oh my God, you got Advans? And it's like, well, I got it from Alibaba. It's the same place where they get it from. It's like, no, it's not. It's not the same place. I hate to tell you this.
Different.
It's just not.
I saw a TikTok this weekend where it was like some guy unboxed his Alibaba wheels or whatever like that, and they were T37 like reps, and it was like, it's weird though, like the center caps came and they didn't have a logo in it. It's like, no shit. Because like, and he's like, on the website it showed it had like the Volk Racing like logo, and it like crudely photoshopped onto the thing. He's like, I thought that was gonna come like that, and everyone's like,
give away that it came with center caps.
Yeah, like, exactly,
right?
Exactly. And
how you know a wheel is if you guys are on Marketplace and you're looking at like Advans or Volks or BBSs or Apex wheels and you're like, wow, these are really cheap. If they came with a center cap and that center cap does not look normal, chances are those are from Alibaba because all those companies.
If they're not charging you out the ass, I bought raised center caps. That fuckers are like $300 or $400.
You also bought lug bolts, nuts.
Raised
like
lug nuts.
$300 too.
Yeah, that shit's expensive
out.
as fuck.
Yeah, raise on raise on raise. Raise squared.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say if you wanted to, I think we've spent some time talking about this in the past, but let's say, right, I'm going to give you both. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You get a $10,000 budget, and you need to create the ultimate daily driver.
Oh, done.
Please.
Got a Sportwagon TDI.
Shut the fuck up.
EGR delete.
That's
DPF
illegal.
delete.
That's illegal.
Well, I thought we were talking off-road use only.
Yeah. This is hypothetical.
Okay, so
No, go again.
Well,
Go again.
here's the thing.
$10,000, start at the top.
Okay. Jetta Sportwagon TDI, no sunroof, slick top, manual. I was able to get mine for $7,000 at a dealership with under 100,000 miles. That was before this whole car bubble. However, it does seem like it came back now. We kind of passed the bubble. Things are normaling out. I think you can still get one. It's probably going to be over 100,000 miles. You're okay at over 100,000 miles. I'm going to do EGR, DPF delete, get crazy fuel mileage. It's going to sound like a fucking diesel truck, and it's sick, and it can move out of its own way. And then if I got any money left over, coilovers and wheels.
Damn.
Perfect daily driver, dream daily driver. I dream about it every night when I go to bed.
I rate that, just because he dreams about it, I rate that a 7.5 out of 10.
That was a horrible rating.
Damn.
What
It's
are
a
you
10
gonna
out
rate
of
it?
10.
Daily driver.
No, you got to rate his.
Oh, 10 out of 10. He did that build and it slapped.
It was so...
The only part he didn't do was the slick top, so
Exactly.
it leaked everywhere.
It did. I had a kiddie pool in the trunk.
All right, Gels, where you at?
I'm thinking like early 2000s Acura Integra, right? Some Enki wheels, BC coilovers. Go get it. Nice exhaust intake. Tires, good tires. Maybe some like white line sway bars.
Holy shit, this dude's doing a full build.
Yeah. But I think
Big turbo.
I think you could fit the big just huge full K swap big turbo. No. Maybe some like interior pieces like like nice like short shifter or something like that. Maybe
Ooh,
nice steering
short
wheel. Just have like a really just rowdy, fun daily.
I like it.
Honda, baby.
Honda.
That's a good option. It's fun.
I would give that 8 out of 10.
Thanks.
8 out of 10?
I've always wanted an Integra.
I'd give that one an 8.5 out of 10.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What about you? What do you got? You're gonna have some
It's
fucking
gonna
weird.
I won't say it because
I already know.
Yeah, I feel like I know it.
All right, I would go with a
Oh,
1973
there it is.
Mercedes-Benz 280, and then I would immediately take the wheels off. I'd ship them out somewhere to get triple chromed, Then I get different wheels, and I would slam it on its nuts on some Airlift Performance, like 3-piece system.
Air on the daily, huh?
And I would just let her eat. And I would clean up the chrome. I'd do like a nice, very modest tint on the side. Just nice interior, good sound system. Ooh, perfect.
You've been on the sound.
I thought you were going to say a fucking Scion TC. You've been yapping about them for months.
I I knew it was either going to be between a C5A6
and a
or...
Listen,
C5A6 or an old Mercedes.
Yeah.
But honestly, you did put me onto the old Mercedes stuff because I think we did.
Are they reliable?
I don't know.
They're
but
reliable enough.
They look fucking
For a daily?
sick, though. So, like...
Here's the good news. If an old Mercedes is going bad,
yeah.
there's only two things you need to do. Either one, you put more oil in it because it's just running out of oil. It just needs more oil. Oh. Or number two, you just go get another engine from the scrapyard for like $200.
They're cheap engines?
Yeah, they're all cheap because
I
there's
just assumed everything
of
was expensive on it.
No. Some of them are expensive, but like in the early 70s, all the way up until I would argue like the early 90s. Mm-hmm. There were so many made, and there were so many produced, especially for the American market, that you can still find a lot of them, for a really good price. And there's a lot of scrapyards and junkyards that specialize in Mercedes, BMW, and Audi specific parts.
Okay,
honestly,
well then I'll give that an 8 out of 10 as well.
Thank you.
I have a 9 out of 10 because honestly, you did put me onto the old Mercedes stuff. I think we talked about it in a previous podcast a little bit. We cut like a short out of it, and I remember going to grab some like B-roll. He's like, yeah, like from like 70 something to like the mid 80s, there just like is a ton of weird shit out there that if you just slam it on some cool wheels. Leave it as is. You have a badass car, and I was like finding some stuff out there for, like to put in the video. I was like, he's right. These things are fucking sick, and they're like $4,000.
Yeah, if you ever find me in like a 1973, 1972 like vert lowered playing Arctic Monkeys, you will know with my like sunglasses on, you will know that I've made it, and okay. I'm done. I'm going to save a cat or like a goat of something. Yeah. That's what I'm going to go do with this car, and I need all of you to leave me alone. Until that moment, I'm available 24/7, 365, 14-hour work days.
That's a lie.
The moment you see me in one of those cars, I'm out of here.
Available, he says.
I am available. My little green dot on the Slack says I'm free.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I don't know. I just think that I think a lot of people get so stuck on price being like indicative of like good.
Yeah,
especially in the car part scene, especially in the car scene too, because like a lot of people will go and they'll say I've got a $15,000 budget, and then they go and look for a car that's $14,750. You know what I mean? Like they just go to the top of that budget.
Yeah,
because that's the best way that you're getting the most out of your money.
And to be fair, it's like the correlation is typically there.
Yeah,
like usually better stuff costs more money, but it doesn't always.
No, it's not always.
And it shouldn't be like the first thing that you always look at.
That's why I think the Volkswagen, like if you can find, it's always like the off trim cars that are always the best value because they were the engine or the transmission or the trim that was available in like the Halo car. You know what I mean? And then this other chassis kind of also got it. And you're kind of like, what the hell? Like, why did that car get that? And I was like, oh, it's cool. It's a sleeper car because it's got an EcoBoost twin turbo V6. And people are like, whoa, I didn't know that because I thought that only came in this, or this. Yeah. Like, Ford Mustang with the EcoBoost still continues to remain in my head in the like back pocket as like one of the best, most fun cars that combine both like the tuner and the domestic.
Sure. You know what's
like,
crazy about that? Is everyone made such a big stink, 4-cylinder in the Mustang. Mm-hmm. They've been doing that a long time.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while.
You can get box bodies with 4 cylinders and
they've been doing it forever.
Yeah, like
this
this
is not new.
Something new.
No.
I'm probably eating my own words a little bit on
like
that.
The grump about stuff.
I always knew that there were 6 cylinders. I didn't realize that Ford's been putting 4 cylinders in them for a minute now.
Honestly, I don't like the 6 cylinders more than.
Yeah, it's
like I feel like if there was one to get shit like in muscle car stuff, it should be the V6.
I would rather have an EcoBoost Mustang than a 6-cylinder Mustang.
So would I.
100%.
I would rather have.
I'd rather have the 8 than all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It kind of reminds me of. Has anybody checked in on like the GT350 to see if they're okay? Like I haven't. I just have never. I don't see them anywhere.
The tornadoes hit them.
I don't see them anywhere. They're not talked about often, if at all, anymore.
They still making them?
the flat plane V8 or flat.
Yeah, that's a
crank
big deal when
V8.
it
The
came
Dark
GT3.
Horse, the Katy Perry Mustang.
No, that's T-Pain's car.
They got like so many different versions now.
I'm lost.
I know I lost it.
So
Which one has the key revving?
That's a Dark Horse, I thought.
It's so weird.
Or was that for all of the Mustangs?
all
like
the
all the new
S650s. I thought it was only for
remote revving is fucking insane.
thought it
And
was
then
only
I
for the
seen
Dark
people
Horse.
too-
imagine being so insufferable that they give you a remote, so now you can piss people off from like 50 feet
The
away.
thing, like I read comments, I'm like, oh, people got light up. People were like, oh,
they
yeah,
loved it.
I like that. What? Really?
Yeah, just what those obnoxiously loud cars need is
Man,
just to be able to
dude,
rev remotely.
Maybe I'm getting old or something. But I think
we are
revving your car with your key fob is the most douchebag thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I feel like revving your car, period. Like,
What?
you might as well grab an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Just like hold the right trigger.
That would be cooler than fucking your key fob.
Phrasing. With that said, we're going to take a small break, but not before talking to you about one of our partners on the MartiniWorks Podcast, Malco Automotive. We've been talking about the detail product for quite some time, and if you guys or gals want the best detailing product for your car, whether you're going to the track to clean up some wheels, or you're going to a car show, you need to clean up the whole thing because you couldn't find a touchless car wash within 10 miles of the convention center because God forbid Seaverville put something next to the expo center, you're going to want to get some Malco Automotive product. We have them in kits. We tested all of it across paint, chrome, glass, all the good stuff to make sure it's actually good, doesn't leave any streaks, and you can get that over at MartiniWorks.com. Malco's been around for like 1 billion years. They make some absolutely incredible stuff. Not the cheapest, but definitely one of the best, which is why we have it on MartiniWorks.com. So if you're looking for some stuff or you want to get your wheels ceramic coated when you pick them up from MartiniWorks.com, just know we always use Malco Automotive product. Our audience knows everything there is to know about Malco Automotive because we talk about it all the time. What about the unknown brands?
The unknown
What about the brands that don't get no love?
Yeah.
They're not in the sun.
Right. What wheel brands do you think don't get enough love?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was staging that one up, and I didn't think that far ahead.
Honestly, there's a lot that have been made recently, and it's like pretty much if any wheel brand wasn't made in Japan in 1970, maybe later too, 1950s and up, no respect. Reps,
Right.
trash,
Yeah.
trash wheels.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
I think one brand I was actually pretty excited about after seeing their catalog and doing a lot of we talked to their team and learned about their technology processes and their designs and things like that. Motegi.
Yeah.
Motegi has been a name that we've talked about
Yeah.
for a while now, and then it kind of like went away, kind of disappeared. And I've been keeping an eye on it, and like I'm not trying to say that like they're coming out with all original designs or like anything like that, but their stuff just looks good. Like they just have good looking.
They do have
wheels.
some heaters.
And
Cool
if-
finishes too.
Yeah, really cool finishes, decent stuff. A lot of their stuff is flow form now.
Yep.
They revived the MB battle,
yeah.
which is really weird because it's also the Motegi battle, which is also MB. The story of the MB battle and who originated that
Lost.
design.
That could
is
be a
like,
whole iceberg video in itself, the MB battle.
Please, someone's got to do it because it is a wild story.
It's I would say Motegi. Obviously, I was gonna give love to Billy and Stage Wheels. Like I don't know what it is. Every time I've referred somebody over to Stage Wheels, they always talk about how awesome it was to deal with them. A lot of people run them for grassroots motorsports.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fitment on E36 stuff, wide body kit stuff for drifting, stuff with angle kits, Corvettes, Mustangs.
They're very like purposely made.
Yeah, and so I like that.
Yeah, and Billy's been involved in Stage in general, has been involved in motorsport grassroots stuff for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And really respects that.
So I would say that. On the tire side, I think we've talked about General now. Really impressed with the General G-Max RS. Don't think that gets a whole ton of love. And
General doesn't for like tuner
'cause-
cars and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always been more of like a USDM kind of
it is
brand,
always
Yep,
muscle cars.
but it doesn't need to be at all.
No, because they make really good stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Rohana too. I think a lot of people just
Ooh,
like
yeah,
they
that's a
put
good
them in. Oh, they just make wheels for like supercars and stuff. It's like, yeah, they do, but they also make like really dope stuff for like. They've done collaborations with Liberty Walk, with Pandem. I think
Yeah.
they're either working on something with RWB or have done something with RWB now.
Their entire team is so nice.
Yeah,
I love the
they've been-
Rohana.
They've been super cool to work with, and like, dude, they make some just incredible wheels. And yeah, the collaborations and stuff that they've been able to do. Talking with the team, it's like like, how did you guys scoop these like partnerships like these like crazy brands? Are like, dude, they love our wheels over in Japan. He's like, they like to put them on stuff, and so I think they make some really good stuff. Obviously, more. It's weird because like I always pictured them as like more like Euro based.
I think it's like a luxury wheel.
Yeah, because it's always been like 19s and up, like bigger wheels. But now that we've seen cars that are getting like these over fenders and wide bodies and stuff like that, like GTRs and things like that, they're taking 19s and 20s, so makes sense.
Yeah, I would also say I'm just going through different brands in my head, but I really enjoy what Airlift is doing with their Airlift coilovers. I think that's kind of neat. Obviously, they're more of an air suspension brand, but we just threw a set on Dustin's wife's Ford Mustang and drove that around a little bit, kind of gave it the old 1-2. They felt really good.
Sure.
Like they felt super good. And price reflective, they're more affordable than Fortune, and I think they're even a little bit more affordable than BC's.
Well, it is cool too that they made them so it's like if you want to upgrade to air down the road, you can use those coils.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of neat.
The coil to air upgrade is what they're calling it, which is pretty neat. So it's like you can get the coils now, and then if you want to make the upgrade in the future, you don't have to go dump $3,500 on a 3P or 3H system. You can actually spend incremental less than that because you're just getting the bags, and then you run the lines, and then you have your manifold and ECU.
Tane has always been another like super underdog one for me too. It's like it's always a brand that I feel like got forgotten about. Because they're like, oh, well, they're just cheap coilovers. And it's like, yeah, they're affordable, but like they make really decent stuff. I had them on my FRS for years. I absolutely loved them. It's like, no, they're not going to get you like the lowest, and they don't have like the craziest like spring rates and stuff like that. But it's like, if you just want a good coil for like some autocross or like just daily drivability and lower your car, they were great.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Tane is such a weird one because people are always like, why are they so cheap? I'm like, well, because sometimes you have to like cut the top mount off your OEM system and weld that onto theirs.
If you get like their street basis like coils, you use a lot of like the OEM mounting stuff. But like I had the Flexies, it was a complete coilover system. I think they were like at the time $800. They were beautiful. They're awesome.
There you go. That's not too bad.
No,
I got a brand that I don't know if we should love or hate.
what's that,
Mid Wheels.
dude? Can we please talk about this? First,
It's so weird, dude.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
So Ray's, the JDM brand,
Yep.
Volk Racing, all that, started another wheel brand under their umbrella called Mid, MID Wheels,
And they're making
which is a ridiculous name to start off with. And then their reps.
They're making hella reps.
They just released one that it's a Regamaster.
Yeah.
Like through and through, like no questions asked. It's a fucking Regamaster. How does this all line up now?
I don't know.
Crazy, stingy wheel guys.
Yeah.
What is your take on this? And is it Ray's like saying like everyone fucking copied our TE37, so we're copying everyone else now because we're pissed?
Yeah, it's like why
are they doing
why
this?
get the mid race or why get the Volk TE37 when I could instead get the mid racing R06?
They copied
made their own-
themselves?
Yeah. Well, they've been doing that. Technically,
Yeah, the Graham lights.
57 DR is essentially a TE37, just budget version.
But why? Okay, why is there mid wheels and Graham
I
lights?
don't know. The name Mid Wheels is
It's
absolutely
horrible.
insane.
My favorite part
That's why it's
about
like
it,
almost like I feel like it's a stab at the community.
Are they
fuck it.
what are the price point on them? Do we have,
they're the same price as like Work Emotion CR Quad.
What?
so like,
There's no actual
Not very mid price.
Yeah, no.
I don't get it. I don't understand
That's
that angle.
crazy to me.
I think I don't know if maybe it's a distribution thing or maybe they're just trying to get that brand into a world where Rays doesn't exist, but
I would love to talk to them because I am so confused what the hell is going on.
I just don't know who their target demographic would be.
well that's
But
the
it's like to the people that I would imagine the people that know them would be like, oh, well, I'm aware of Rays. It's kind of like Graham Lights. It's like, Graham Lights gets a ton of respect because they're made by Rays. It still has all of that same quality to it. It's just they're flow form instead of forged.
Yep.
And they're a little bit cheaper, and they have a couple like different designs. And it's like Mid Wheels is like, okay, we're just gonna take the same designs that we're currently making and some other replica designs and just keep it the same price under a new name. That's just so weird.
What's really interesting is that when you go to Osaka in Japan, you actually start to see how close a lot of these brands are.
Yeah.
And how close they are to, like, physically, they're close to each other.
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
But also how a lot of those companies, like the families that started them, all came from very similar companies. So, like in America, for instance, if you wanted to know the history of aftermarket wheels, you'd really look no further than American racing.
Mm-hmm.
American racing was the birthplace of every other U.S. spec'd wheel brand. Like anything you could possibly imagine, their dad worked at American Racing.
Sure.
In Japan, it happened in Osaka, and it came from a company called Hayashi Racing.
Okay.
And Hayashi Racing was the start and foundation of a lot of companies in Osaka, including Work and including a lot of the Volk brands and even some of the initial Volk engineers. And so they still, to this day, will like talk to each other.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And like share designs and stuff like that and talk a little bit about like, well, they're going to go do this, they're going to go do that. So I'm curious if like maybe there was talk about trying to get this brand into a market where Rays or Graham Lights or one of the just literally is not in existence, you know? And then Mid goes into that market like Europe, let's say, and says, okay, Mid's going to service Europe. Graham Lights is not.
Sure.
Have you ever seen that before? Or do
Yeah.
I sound crazy?
No, I get what you're saying. It's just, it's weird that it's like within their own brand. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like, oh, if like, you know, Work did it, you know, to compete with like Rays or something like that. Like, sure. Or if like another brand, it was like, it's another like entity within their own like company. And it's just kind of, Dakota's deep into something over here.
I've been looking up Mid Wheels trying to understand. It says since 1961.
So Rays.
Is that what they're going off of with that?
I don't know.
And then
Or maybe like the manufacturer.
Well, now I'm seeing like a lot more designs and stuff too, which is interesting. But also,
So did they just go through a rebrand? I'm so confused.
I don't know. They have new wheels, they're reps, and then they have some off-road stuff.
Okay.
On Rays, it says
Which is weird because Rays also has their own off-road line.
right.
Don't even get me started about Yokohama Wheel.
Mid
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
Maruka Intelligent Design.
Oh.
The Mid wheel lineup is now available for the overseas market through Rays. So maybe it was a thing in Japan before it was available in the United States. I'm not sure.
Why does this whole thing just sound like a Tumblr thread about a Twilight movie right now?
This line of products are produced outside of Japan,
China.
while the design and testings, though, are carried throughout Japan via Rays. So Japan testing made outside of Japan, won't say where, just say made outside Japan.
What a wild...
We should start saying that for everything. Made outside of America.
Yeah. It's a wild fucking Frankenstein wheel company.
Made in America, designed in China,
Made outside of
designed in
America.
tested in Japan.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Bro, I don't make the
Anyway,
rules.
I want to... if you have a set of Mid wheels...
Yeah, talk to us.
Let
Please let us know if you like them.
I want to know, one, and not why. I want to know why. Just genuinely curious what made you go with them. And two, have you liked them?
And
like you
three,
said, who
what
is this for? What is
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a
Just
weird...
get Graham Lights if you want. Like, I don't know. I'm confused by Mid.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that the wheel companies run out of ideas, and so they just refresh the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they just
Because
keep
you
making
can't-
TE37s.
every wheel design has been made already.
There's
so.
so many TE37. There's a million TE37s.
There's so many TE30. That's why I think people love to hate on what's popular. I saw a short just the other day where somebody was bitching about RPF 1s. And it's like, first off,
Of course.
sit down, okay?
Settle down.
The RPF 1 is a fantastic wheel. I don't care how many times somebody buys it. You are always buying an RPF 1 for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
You are not always buying a Volk TE37 for the right reason, in my opinion.
What's the wrong reason
Yeah,
to buy a
what do you mean?
TE37?
You're buying it because you want to spend a lot of money on a wheel that you're never going to use. But I think with the RPF 1, you're getting an incredibly strong, lightweight, functional wheel that is very affordable. It checks all the boxes. You would never buy it to try and like flex money. You would buy it
Sure
because
you
it
don't.
solves a problem. Whereas with the TE37, I think sometimes people buy it because they want They want to flex.
That's why I got them.
I want to get your thoughts on.
I wanted one of the most iconic wheels ever made.
I want to get your thoughts on this comment that we got. So the last time we met on the podcast, we did like the Mount Rushmore of wheels, right? So we like picked,
which was great.
Yeah, we picked 4 wheels each, and we kind of talked about them a little bit. So we picked wheels like T37, RPF1, the BBS-LM obviously was a big one, and then we each had like kind of like our own unique choice as well. There was a comment in here. Oh man, I have to find it now. Oh, I hope he didn't delete it. But the comment was TikTok taste, or like what a TikTok flavored list or something like that. Like, oh, these were just like TikTok choice wheels, and someone had like 100 and some likes on it.
Told us that our taste was TikTok flavored.
Yeah. And so like someone commented like, what are your 4 then? Like just genuinely curious. And he was like, Rotiform BLQ, 1552 Turbo Mac. What was the other ones? Work Emotion ZR10, which I love the ZR10. I don't know if it's a Mount Rushmore wheel.
It's not at all. It's got to be around longer before it's a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it was just really funny.
That was an insane take.
Yeah, so he said,
you found it. Okay.
Yeah. He's got 1,700 followers, and he dances in front of a pool table.
Nice.
So.
You need to put him on blast like that.
Sit down.
Yeah. We all have our own content, Alex. Come on.
Anyway.
What's wrong with dancing?
He said HRE S200H.
Okay.
That was a Google search. Work Emotion ZR10. Great choice.
Good choice. Just
no, not for this
Mount
situation.
Rushmore.
Yeah, but not for Mount Rushmore. 1552 Turbo Mac.
No.
I think he's probably saying that because of Gymkhana.
It's a great wheel, but it's not a Mount Rushmore wheel.
And then Rotiform BLQ.
that is so out of left field.
That is a Lamborghini wheel.
Yeah, the BLQ is a rep.
Let's see. Let's see.
OEM Lamborghini.
500 pounds.
Wait, let's go down the list. Let's go down the list and we'll rate it. Okay, everybody listening and TikTok, if you're watching this,
They're not.
These were your Mount Rushmore of wheel choices, and we're going to judge you. Okay, so first one was, if BBS isn't there, you have absolutely no clue. That's fair.
Yeah,
BBS
we all said BBS.
I think I said BBS.
Yep.
He one said TE37,
Yep.
BBS LM,
Yep.
Blitz 03,
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
VSKF.
No.
I don't think the VSKF belongs because the
That's a
American
wrap.
torque thrust exists.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. The next one was more of a comment. They said, the fact that only one had the RPF1 is insane. That's the Honda Civic of wheels. That's the PB&J of wheels. That's the bread and butter of wheels. Everyone has them. They're good. They're cheap. They're good looking. They work on every car. They're completely universal. Overused, but arguably the best overall wheels. And I would have to say, you, sir, are right.
That might be the best TikTok comment I've ever read.
Yes. Somebody else says, at this point, I can't stand the TE37s.
It's just because they're oversaturated with it. They're just like it's to the point where it's like where you keep seeing like the same clip pulled from a movie on TikTok or like the same like trend, and you're like, at first you're like, oh, this is really funny, this is really cool, but after like the 50th time seeing it, you're like, God, I fucking hate this. You don't hate it. You're just sick of seeing it.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, most of the tastes are pretty close. There's one person that had a pretty, he changed it. I said Krager SS Dayton wire wheels.
Okay,
that's an iconic wheel. I would agree with that. TE37 BBS LM.
Solid.
We start getting a little weird as we go further down the non-liked comments.
That's where the good stuff is.
No, it's not.
Somebody said Regamaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they
very
said
iconic.
Yeah. Then they said Regamaster.
Just one wheel.
Mm-hmm. The third one that they said was also Regamaster.
Ah, okay. I see where they're going.
And
they just want a full set of Regamasters.
A full set.
And with how much they cost, they're probably like,
honestly,
shoot the shot.
Yeah.
But most of them, they're pretty well aligned. T37 definitely takes the cake on most of.
It's a founding father.
Yeah, it was just so funny how it was like, TikTok taste.
Rotiform BLQ
should have been on there.
Number one.
It's like, where did you pull that
is
from?
Psycho. As a person that had Rotiform BLQs, that is fucking psychotic. It's nowhere near the mountain, dude.
Yeah, it's holding the mountain down.
It's another country.
That's what the mountain's made out of.
Guys, I'm looking at these photos that people attached to the comments from our license
I really
plate
don't
short.
like how you can comment photos on TikTok.
Oh my God, these license plates are insane. What?
Are they real?
we got more?
Or is it fake?
How have we not, how does this not get removed? I don't, okay, I have to preface it. I'm going to say the letters.
No.
Careful.
I don't know how to
No,
say
don't say it.
Can I
Don't
show
say it.
Can I show you the photo?
Sure.
And then we'll say, okay, so this,
We need to screen Alex's parts before the podcast.
you do. This is a license plate on a Volkswagen.
Yes, you cannot spell that out, Alex. That's very inappropriate.
Yeah, no. I'm not even showing that.
That's terrible. Somebody else has a Toyota Supra that says, is that that's cool. And then a 911 that says Bush did.
That's good.
That's wild.
That's funny.
Jesus.
I would laugh if I seen that. Oh, there's a classic Golf R with the hard R.
How are people getting away?
I don't
That
know.
looks
There's
fake.
one
That
in
looks like
Wisconsin.
it's paper.
Yeah.
Here's another one of you.
Yeah.
There's
You guys
one
are
in
terrible.
Wisconsin.
Could you imagine what do you think
PP doc.
people get? What do you think the DMV gets for custom license?
Oh
plate
my God,
records?
I would.
Those are the ones that they're letting through.
Oh,
I can't even
you know, there's
imagine.
so many bad ones
I
that
can't
don't
even
get through.
imagine.
How many swear word ones do you think get banned or denied every day? They have to get so
Every
bored
day.
of
Yeah,
it.
it's got to be just whoever has it. Dude. And it's got to be a manual job, right? Like there's just a person that's obviously probably a team of people that just sit there and review these coming in.
I would imagine they have a process for
Okay, real talk, real quick about that. I don't know. Is it the same across all states for personal license plates?
I would
You
imagine
pay
it's
$15
pretty-
extra dollars and
I've never done a personal
'cause
plate.
every
actually.
time I do it, I feel like I'm doing it wrong because you're not supposed to send cash in the mail, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you're not. Like that's a no. But I don't have a checkbook. I never have. So I just put $15 in the envelope with my what I want for a custom plate. Whoop into the mail.
The cops are outside right now.
Yeah. And it's always worked though.
Okay.
It's never not worked.
All right.
But let's say they denied my plate. Are they gonna send me my $15 in the
No,
mail?
they
back?
give you a check, Dakota. I can't believe that you haven't actually owned a checkbook yet. in
Why
your
the
life.
fuck would I need one, Alex?
To fucking do the process of getting a
That to get
custom plate
personalized
correct.
plates, I need a
Yes.
checkbook.
Yeah.
That's the most DMV thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
for real.
There's no reason I need a checkbook.
I never have, nor do I have the ambition to ever have a checkbook.
Yeah.
It's not that I want a checkbook. Guys.
You don't need
You,
it.
you want a checkbook.
You
You're a
100
don't
checkbook
need
guy.
a checkbook.
You need a checkbook.
For what?
Well, when we pay rent here, that needs a check.
No. Nah.
You're telling you go to our landlord and be like, hey, I'm a Venmo you. the
Yeah,
fucking rent?
he'll do
He's
it.
going to say no.
He'd be like, oh, thank you. All these fucks keep playing with checks.
If I need a check,
Listen,
I take the money down to Quick Trip and get a cash order.
I worked at Shopko, and I would have these fucks come through that
Yeah.
think it's a good idea to spend $6.97 and write a check. Alex is that fucking guy.
Dakota, that was
He's
12.
the check guy.
That was 12 years
and it
ago.
still sucked. It still sucked.
I'm not saying I like checks, guys. I'm saying
He's the check
they're
guy.
unnecessary evil. I have never whipped out a checkbook to pay for something and I was in somebody else's place of employment and a card or some sort of digital currency has been accepted.
Can someone buy wheels with a check from
If s-
MartiniWorks?
If somebody were to mail me a check and say, this is for a set of Works ER10s, I will give you $50 off just to prove a point
Oh,
no.
that other
that's not-
people
Oh,
if
God.
someone
use a
does
checkbook.
it,
We're so
I
screwed.
want to say I'll post it on
We're so
Instagram. I will
screwed.
post the check with the check number on it. No, I'm just kidding.
and the routing number.
Yeah. I won't do that.
Full
But
name and
I'm
address.
just saying,
I'll call you out.
29 years on this great old earth. Haven't yet to need a check.
There was a few times though where I was like, oh shit, I think I do need a check, but I've weaseled my way out of it.
Have you guys ever thought it was weird outside of the check scandal going on right now? Is
know about it,
that
don't have
the
Wouldn't be aware. Don't have a checkbook. Go ahead.
unbelievable? The ability to only pay transporters with Zelle or Cash App.
Ugh, I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. So the guy dropped off a car. Spoiler alert: we have a car that nobody's gonna see or hear about for a long time.
Right over there though.
It's
It's
a
probably in the back
secret.
of my frame.
It's insane.
Anyway. We'll crop
And-
it.
Anyway, and so we finalize the price. Everything is good. Sends me a text on Saturday. And he's like, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. He's like, hello, I'll be there tomorrow. I respond, okay. He goes, please have cash. I said, banks are closed. Don't have
Sunday.
Yeah.
cash. He goes, you don't have cash? ? I responded, no, I don't have cash. He goes, then pay Zelle. I'm like, I don't have Zelle. I said, all I have is a check from a checkbook.
He's
You know what
probably
I
like,
said?
hell no.
He goes, no check.
I was the
Fair.
same thing.
I wouldn't accept a check.
Actually, I can do immediate deposit,
That's fair.
so maybe I would. I probably would have.
So then I'm like, okay, well, what do you have? So then we decided on Venmo, which is nothing more than PayPal
Yeah.
for
rebranded for us.
for
To make
rebranded.
it more fun.
Yeah.
So we can
use
add
emojis.
yeah, so we can add emojis and be fun and hip. And anyway, I had to reinstall Venmo, reconnect a bank app, resubmit the penny 16 cents express that costed like an extra $1 just to give this guy the money digitally. And I thought that was weird. I felt more comfortable if that would have been a check.
Check guy. Told you. I had no problem Venmoing the trailer guy. That's not an issue for me. Why is that a
I
problem?
get why you wouldn't take a check, though.
I know why
get
he
it,
wouldn't
yeah.
take a check. I know why he wouldn't take a check. Okay, I get the concept of the check.
I know.
Unbelievable. Anyway, for our next partner for the MartiniWorks podcast, we do want to give a huge shout out to Continental Tires, ladies and gentlemen. We have officially been with them for a very long time.
Officially.
A long time.
Very ass long time?
And we're very, very
Hell
happy,
yeah.
happy to have them on
Huge
board.
milestone.
If you guys and gals don't know, we've had Continental on a lot of our cars. Absolutely fantastic. Getting right into summertime. They've got some new tires dropping. And if you're on the market, they have some really cool rebates right now on the website, on MartiniWorks.com. And they also have a rebate for next month as well, which is like their second biggest rebate that they do for some of their model lineups. So go out there, check it out. If you need a reason to pick up a set of tires right now, now might be a really, really good time because you get a $110 rebate, which is pretty good.
Decent.
And so got to say, thank you, Continental, for being a partner of the MartiniWorks podcast. And if you need some tires, you can check them out over at MartiniWorks.com.
I rode the Continental horse.
You did.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for our final segment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there is something I want to ask you guys first. Have you guys watched any of the content from AO Racing? Do you know who AO Racing is?
Yes.
So AO
Dinosaur cars.
Dinosaur cars. Dakota, do you know AO Racing?
Yeah, I've seen them.
So they have
person.
different like little
never seen their content, though.
personalities
Oh.
for their cars. So they have Roxy.
Yeah.
And then they have Rexy, right? And Roxy's the pink one, and Rexy is the green one.
Okay.
And then the cars are liveried in that same way.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they do the most unserious marketing. Like one of them is on a vacation in California, and the other one's at the racetrack, like getting swole.
Who do they make do this?
I don't know. The last time
What
I
are they
saw
promoting?
Dinosaurs.
them,
Fossil fuel.
Fossil fuels.
the last time I saw it was at Daytona, and they had a fully grown old man in the suit, and it was kind of funny because you obviously see the big dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
It's like doing all these funny things,
funny, yeah.
funny. But then there's a clear section like
And
in
you
the
see the guy
neck, and you
inside.
see the guy inside,
Crying.
and he's just sweating his
Shove
balls
poor
off.
Carl in there. man.
Anyway, that's all I got for you.
Yeah. So we talked about Mount Rushmore of aftermarket wheels, right?
Yeah.
I got another one for you.
Okay.
We love 90s cars.
Yep.
What's your Mount Rushmore of 90s cars? And it could be anything. JDM, Euro, domestic, whatever.
All right. I made a list.
You guys have a list.
Perfect.
Starting off, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off, all right? You know it's coming. You see the headlights. Here it is, Mark IV Supra.
Oh,
Got it.
George Washington of Mount Rushmore cars, all right? Next up, you're probably not going to see this one coming, at least from me. But it's got to be up there. The Porsche 911.
Ooh.
964.
Dang. The broken egg headlight one. Wait, 964?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Honda NSX. Iconic.
Dang. Okay.
Absolutely iconic. Finally, The Ford Escort RS Cosworth.
Ooh, what a pull!
I wanted to put a USDM one in there too. I mean, it's the fucking Mount Rushmore. It's in the United States. Gotta have one. I think that car is super iconic from Rally, having an inline 4 turbocharged all-wheel drive, just badass machine. That deserves it to be up there.
Alex, what do you got?
Nope, I'm going last. I'm making my list, but my list is fucking sick, and I can't wait to tell you guys.
I don't need a list, and things like
that.
Yeah, I need a list.
Like crazy. Dakota said good ones. I need a list.
All right, my number 1, second gen Mitsubishi Eclipse. Gotta have it. Number 2, NA Miata.
Okay, that's fair.
Come on.
Yeah.
90s car. 90s you gotta have.
It can be any 90s car.
Yeah, any 90s car. This is a weird one for me, but I keep seeing them more and more recently, and it's like, dude, these cars are weird, but they are kind of sick. WS6 Trans Am.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
Middle to late 90s.
They're so
more like
goofy
late 90s,
looking.
but they are goofy, but dude, they are the epitome of kind of like
They are
90s
so
badassery.
sick.
They're a mullet on wheels.
Yeah, they are, and I have a mullet, so
Yeah,
we're
you
getting.
do.
I don't know what that means,
Does
but
that
we're
mean you're getting
somewhere.
a WS6?
Isn't it? I don't know. I kind of want a third gen Camaro really bad.
Holy shit.
And then finally, Mark IV Supra. Got to be up there.
Nice.
All right, what do you got?
I'm so excited about my list.
It better
I
be good.
can't wait to show you guys.
It better be good.
Okay,
Yeah, tell me now.
first car off the list, Ferrari F40 LM.
Damn. Good pull.
Right? Why is it on the Mount Rushmore of wheels or cars?
It's
Because
an
it
F40.
just is.
Yep.
Mountain Rushmore.
Number 2, Mercedes-Benz
Oh.
Evo 2.
Ooh. Yeah.
ASAP Rocky's car?
He realized he could go with any 90s car, and then he perked up.
It opened up everything. Any 90s car, dude? Come on. McLaren F1
Yes.
GTR
Yes.
decimated everyone in racing. And finally, I could not go anywhere without
There it is.
sharing my heart of hearts. My soft soul has to have the fourth car, Dodge Viper
Knew it was coming.
GTS.
Yeah.
Alex's list was pretty good.
I
I'm
like
not gonna
that list a
lie. That was
lot.
a good
I
list.
like that list.
It had to be there. The Viper's got to be there. There's no part of the United States 90s
what's
history
we-
where you don't have a Viper in
think
there.
We
those
really
were
left
some-
out some heaters.
We
really
did.
There's a lot. There's a
We kinda-
90s were great.
RX-7.
Yeah.
I left that because I was like, well, Gels will say that.
Yeah.
Doesn't say it. I'm like, holy shit.
To be fair, it's like-
GTRs, nowhere.
I feel
Ghost
like
town.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Jesus. We're gonna get.
NSX? Oh, no, you got that one.
I said
Yeah, he just said the NSX. I didn't even think of the NSX. What's that?
Audi?
Audi B5.
Yeah. Brent would have killed us if
Yeah.
he was here.
I mean, I could go through all of it. You got, what, the Volvo V70R? Was that an 80s or 90s car?
I don't know if all of that.
Okay.
I don't know. They still got them.
Ford F-150.
That's not a car.
What else do we got up there?
Was the they had the
Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4.
It was between the 3000 GT and
300ZX.
300
300
ZX.
I can't believe you didn't. That's another one I thought for sure you'd say.
Or like 240, 300. Yeah, it could have been any of them.
What are like
There's a
the...
lot.
would you-
We're
what would
gonna
you
get
There's
say?
so
fucking
many.
chopped.
There's so many.
What would you say is like, if the Mount Rushmore is like the most erect and
What?
exciting
You could have used that.
What?
top best cars, what's the antithesis of the Mount Rushmore
You're
of
saying
cars?
a lot of words.
The bottom of the ocean.
the anti
next to
Mount
all my
Rushmore?
car batteries.
What's the anti Mount
mean,
Rushmore list of 90s
the-
cars?
The Plymouth Neon.
Ford Pro.
Before it was even Dodge.
Was that
Ford
90s?
Pro. Sure, I think so.
I don't know if they had them.
Dude, the Neon before Dodge took it was so ugly.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
In the Need for Speed Underground, the first one, it was still the Plymouth Neon.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it was weird.
So that's one. Do you have more?
Oh, shit. I don't know. That one stuck out immediately. Come back.
It sucks because this one, it equally deserves the bottom of Mount Rushmore and the top at the same time.
Okay, what is it?
Not
The
how that-
Chevy Cavalier.
Oh my God. Hell
The
yeah.
Chevy Cavalier has such a cool story because it was also raced in Japan. It was one of the cars in the JGTC 90s racing series. It was one of the few times, I believe, don't quote me on this, but one of the teams was actually had a female driver as well. But the Chevy Cavalier raced against like GTRs and 300ZXs and all sorts of crazy stuff in Japan.
See, we have that end of it, and then we have my buddy Dylan's that we jumped over the railroad tracks and had holes in the floor. So it's kind of the top and the bottom of Mount
You were
Rushmore.
100% right on that. Holy crap.
They always kept going though.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite better than just hopping into a Chevy Cavalier because they all smell the same too.
They're
You guys ever notice that?
They're like the thrift shop of cars. Like,
Was the Mercury Cougar a 90s or was that early 2000s?
I think it was 90s.
if it was early 2000s, it still looked like it was from the 90s.
Yeah. The first gen, like Cougar XR7s, those are pretty sick because those are basically just rebranded Mustangs. But, yeah, they got weird.
I'm going to see if I can find some.
Oh, here's a good question.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
do you enjoy fast cars on public roads without getting arrested or accidentally killing someone?
My answer to that in the bike world was the Honda Grom. Because, yeah, like you have a leader bike. It's like, how do I have fun on this without going to jail or dying forever?
Honda Grom.
Honda Grom. Rider wide open, you're barely getting in trouble.
Right. Barely doing the speed limit. I think the key is you just, yeah.
Ew, 90s Ford Taurus. Yuck.
Those were so bubbly and ugly.
My babysitter had one.
Oh, God.
I think
That is a babysitter car.
It is, dude.
dude, that's the car that so many people smoked weed for the first time in.
You're not too wrong. You're not entirely wrong.
You know that's illegal, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying from the movies and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was always a Ford Taurus.
Saturns, 90s Saturns, all of them. Bottom of the barrel. Trash. No, there's what are you going to argue? Those things are fucking pieces of shit.
I know they are, but they were kind of fun at the same time.
Yeah, fun because it was all anyone could afford at 16 years old.
Yeah, my buddy
still
Caleb had one, and that was like our fucking snowboarding like escort to the fucking mountains.
That was when
every
cars
weekend.
were like cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Like
he got the car
$300 running.
Yes. Yeah.
What's crazy about that is there was a new brand. I think it's called Slate or something like that. I don't know if
Okay.
you've seen it.
Oh, I did see something about that.
Slate or Blade or something. I think it's
Slate.
And they released it, and it's essentially it's a build your own truck, car, SUV thing, and they start I think at $20,000, $19,000. So they're very, very affordable.
MSRP.
right? MSRP. But
Actually?
I don't think they actually have at this time they do not have a dealership network. So the goal was intended to try and get direct to consumer, which is obviously going to be a whole nother mess. Tesla's already tried going through that. That was diabolical in terms of what lobbyists did for that. But everything on the vehicle is like an add-on, right? So if you want to get like color, if you want to get the thing painted, it costs more money. If you want to get a different side panel that has more cup holders, that's an add-on. Everything's like microtransactioned, but you get the core vehicle for like $19,000, $20,000. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is fantastic. They have never made, cars like this before. It's so nice to finally have like an affordable option. And then I'm like, do these people know that Saturn existed 20 years ago?
Have they looked at a Corvette before? Because from all the boards that I've read at car shows, there's some pretty unique things about Corvettes out there.
That's true. That's true. No, but it seems pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
looks
seems
kinda
like a cool
I like the idea,
concept.
but it all is reliant on the vehicle's reliability.
Yeah.
If it sucks, the rest of the shit, the price, everything goes out the window. It doesn't matter. However, if it's just a tank and this thing runs and is tried and true, I think it's a fantastic thing.
I think that's why so many people outside of the United States love Suzuki. And people within the country obviously like Suzuki too, but Suzuki has such a stranglehold in markets, especially like in Japan, for instance, because of how good they are at what they do. They're like small, functional, reliable little off-roaders that can do it all. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Super, super fun. And you see people, like, they have these Jimnys that are, like, insanely high miles. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. And nobody's importing them because a lot of the people overseas aren't selling them.
Yeah, that's what I
But
keep 'em.
if you want to get one, you can get one for dirt cheap, which is just nuts. But anyway, I was just thinking about this. I
I don't know anything about Suzuki.
Yeah.
They're cool. That's what you need to know.
I forget that
Jimmy?
they make vehicles sometimes.
I do, too. And then
It's always like
I see like 3 a year.
yeah.
I forget that Suzuki makes vehicles, and then they show up on, like, a reliability reports every once in a while. And I'm like, oh.
The only time I see Suzukis are, especially for sale, I'm driving on the highway and I'm like in between cities and there's like a farm and it's parked out front of the farm
field.
with a for sale sign. It's like the only time I see.
And it's missing the bottom half because it's rusted out.
Yep, 100%. You nailed it.
It was just a farm utility for 20
We might have
years.
drove past the same ones.
Probably. It's only like 10 in Wisconsin. So
I'm just looking.
Grand Am's also a terrible 90s car, in my opinion.
It wasn't
Yeah.
terrible.
I didn't
so
like them.
The
Gross.
Grand Am GT was cool. It had ram air. Okay. It had overdrive. It came in red. It had a
just don't
cool
like how they
little
look.
intake.
I don't care what it has.
It
I don't
had
like how it
neat
looks.
taillights, a little wing on the back. What is wrong with you? Are you American?
I think it's ugly.
What about the Bonneville?
I think it's ugly.
The Pontiac Bonneville is like the Grand Am, but on like it ate too much. It was huge.
The GXP. is
No,
the
don't even. No, we're
The
not doing this.
GXP is the official high school car of anyone who graduated in 2012.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely,
that and
without a shadow of a
that
doubt.
and the Pontiac's on fire.
Pontiac
Can-
had a stranglehold
Can I
for
tell
a
a
while.
story
They did.
of
They are the
illegal
high school
activity that we did?
Legal, you said?
Illegal. So
Yeah.
I'm outing.
Yeah,
I'm doxing myself.
hypothetical. Yeah.
Hypothetically, this happened.
Okay.
My neighbor had a Grand Am,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like best buds, and we are really fucking bored. And we're like, how funny would it be if instead of Grand Am on the back, it said Grandpa? Or it was, sorry, not Grand Am. It was a Grand Prix. It was a Grand
okay.
Prix. So we wanted to say Grandpa. We're like, fuck, we just need like an A, and we could make it say Grandpa. A block away, we knew there was someone with the exact same car, same color and everything. I don't know if that made it more like tempting because it was the same color car.
No.
We ran over, fishing line in hand, popped the fucking letters off, ran back and stuck them on.
In a minute,
And it made it say Grandpa. And that Grand Prix had. So we took that. What do we need? Just the A? We might have taken a couple, though, because we were trying to be really fast and just kind of like popped it off.
You just needed the A.
And yeah, rather, this was before Amazon, boys, all right?
Yeah, I could just order this.
And
This is a heat of the moment idea.
just because it was a block away, always seeing that vehicle without the like A on it, like I always felt like a little bit of remorse. Like, why the fuck did we fucking do that?
If they would have even noticed, right?
Well, we always seen that car. You know how you recognize, like, oh, that person has the same car as me.
Yeah.
We lived a block away.
Yeah.
So, like, I know they know. I wonder if they ever put two and two together. Yeah. I was like, why is that say Grandpa and we're missing him? I kind of wish they would have addressed it. I wish they would have came at us sideways about it.
That would be hilarious.
All I can picture is like if someone were to do that today, right? Like if that was
Yeah.
like today, and you guys did that, it's like everyone's got a fucking ring cam. Just
Yeah.
see it too, like teenagers run over with some fishing line, do something to like
hightail it out of
just
there.
gets posted on Facebook, like the fucking like community like Facebook page. Hey, why were these two random boys coming over
Yeah.
with fishing line to the back of my car?
Yeah,
what did they
before
do?
Nest cameras, before Amazon.
Yeah. Damn, you could get away
Feels-
with shit like that.
Feels good to come clean.
I just like completely
Hypothetically.
off car topic just for the last couple minutes before we tidy up the show.
That's usually where we go anyway.
Have you guys noticed that there's like there's an app for everything nowadays,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
I don't know if I've spoken about this
Yes,
before,
Grandpa.
and community would know this as well. The website Nextdoor. Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah.
No.
It's like a community app
Okay.
where
It's-
it's where you live, and then other people in the network are on the app, and you can kind of like share updates and questions and things like that in
It's like
your
Facebook
community.
for your neighbors.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Sounds bad
HOA
already.
online.
It is, bro. It is the most circle jerk, terrible experience I have
God,
ever been a
dude,
part of in
it's-
my entire life.
It's horrible.
It's like, and it's like
man.
the typical updates where it's, to anyone who has a small white dog that's barking from 5:45 to 6:15, can you please tell that dog to quiet down?
Dude,
Thank
It's
you.
the most like just toxic like shit ever.
Ever.
And that's all it is. Whoever thought it was a good idea to dump your garbage in my lawn, I didn't think I would have to make this post. And it's like, dude, it is. Oh,
It's like-
it is cancer.
It's kind of like those TikToks where they're like mimicking like parents or like moms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I never thought on my day today I would have to come on here and tell y'all. That's like
and they made a whole app for it.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke, and then I'm on Nextdoor for 2 minutes, and I'm like, this is.
Have your cars ever been brought up on Nextdoor?
That's literally why I kind of joined it. Well, I joined it initially because you kind of recommended it because you had some like contractor stuff done. And you're like, oh, I found him on Nextdoor. And it was just like the local handyman who's like, I just want to do side gigs. So I was like, shit, cool. If I ever need that, it'd be cool to know if there's anyone in the neighborhood to do that. And it was like, I had some lady get mad at me for flying one of my helicopters at the park one day.
No way.
And I was like, oh my God, I bet like maybe someone's like posting about this, or if like I was testing out like the big drone that we had like at the park. I was like, I guarantee like drones freak the fuck out of people for some reason. Like they think that everyone thinks that they're important enough for me to spy on them, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I almost guaranteed that there would have been some like kind of post on there, and it wasn't. But
I would say the one time I did get like called out on Nextdoor was funny because it was like an older lady. And it was back when I worked at home. I think it was like 22, 23. And they were like, to whoever owns the white car with the steering wheel on the wrong side, can you please quiet your car down? Like that was the post, right?
Nice, beautiful.
And I'm like, it had like 16 likes and it had like 34 comments. And I'm like, oh my
here
God.
we go. Whenever there's more comments than likes, you know
you're in trouble. I'm like, either this entire neighborhood like hates my guts, or there's something else afoot that I need to find out. Yeah. So I go into the comment thread, and the first comment is one of the neighbors like kind of kitty corner to me saying, that's Alex. He's actually really chill. My kids love his cars, and they let him sit in them all the time. So please shut up and stop complaining.
Hell
about
yeah,
it.
W neighbor.
And it had like 20 likes, and I was like, thank God, I'm defended.
Okay.
But then it shifted because then there was another comment that was talking to the lady that left, and it was like, we'll call her Joanne.
Okay.
And there was another comment that was like, listen, Joanne, we're tired of your emails about the HOA and being voluntold to go clean up rocks at the entryway when we pay $100 a month. Maybe you should worry about that. And it just started to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it was about like, our HOA has volunteering to keep costs down to like pick weeds and this, that, and the other thing. And then it turned into like, oh, well, what happens if we roll our ankle when we're volunteering to clean up dirt? Is the HOA going to cover
And this is all in the post about your loud car?
About my car. And it's like, well, what are the points of the HOA if we have to clean up the rock garden at the entry of the, and then somebody else was like, honestly, I don't really want people that I don't know on my property cleaning up rocks. Have you gotten this approved from the owners of the bill?
It just evolved. Oh,
HOAs are bad. Next door is bad.
I would put.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining.
There's people like that though.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't know what it is. Like when you create like communities like that, or like just like sub community things like HOAs, or we ran into this. We went and visited Maggie's parents. They have like a permanent campsite up north, and they keep their camper there pretty much all season when it's not snowing. And we went up there to visit for the first time. Maggie just got the Type R. We brought the Type R up there, roll into this campsite park, having a good time. And all of a sudden this golf cart rolls up like a few hours later. They're like, hey, we got reported that you're speeding through the campground.
Damn.
And we're like, what? Like, what are you? And they're like, there's children that are playing here, and like you can't, like, said that you were coming through at a pretty good speed, and we just need you to know that this is a warning, or we'll be contacting the owner. And it wasn't even, I thought like, oh, this is like the owners of the camera. I'm like, oh, sorry if we were coming, like, well, we weren't. Like, Maggie was driving. She was in like fucking like first gear. Like we're trying to figure out where the campsite is. It's not like we're hauling ass through here. Yeah. You know, it's dirt road. And I was like, oh, this is the owners. Like, oh no, we're going to tell the owners if this happens. And it's like, you're not even the fucking owners of this place.
Literally seen the wing and they're like, Jesus, that car is going so fast.
Fucking exactly. It was like, this is a car that is out of the ordinary for where it should be. And they fucking have an issue with it. And it was literally the next door people to Maggie's.
Oh,
you know,
people right next.
Yeah. And her mom was like, those people driving nuts. nuts.
It's like, have you noticed
they
that
think
though?
that she's like, she's an admin of the Facebook page for the campground, and she thinks that she can run everything. And it's like, dude, they get on this like fucking power trip. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I've noticed that a couple times. Back when I was younger, we go camping, and there was always like this hierarchy.
Yeah.
Of like the campground.
Dude,
you know, it's like you
so
had a
weird.
group that like lived there the whole time or whatever and kind of like managed it, I guess.
It's like a generational thing.
Yeah, but it was like we went to one campsite in Shawamagon, and it was like it was us, we were at a fireplace, nothing at all was happening. It was just like my dad, me, and my friend Alex Annan, and we were just kind of like chilling, having a fire, and then there was like nobody in, because they do them in like these like circled chunks, you know what I mean? And we were just like having a good time, blah, 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 laughing. Nothing crazy. There's 3 of us, 2 kids, 1 adult. And it's another one, like a golf cart, like came in. I was like,
They're always in golf.
hey, just want to let you guys know, closing, shutdown time's about now. You know, we generally like, you know, lights and noise and all that to be off by now. And I remember my dad, like, he looked to his left, and nobody. No other campsites were taken. Because we used to go camping during the week. It was like, because he didn't want to be around other people. He looked to his right, and there's like, nobody. And Dad looks back and goes, who are we keeping up? And my dad and this guy got into a fight about it. And,
shit.
you know, well, you know, rules are rules regardless of days. And my dad's like, the rule is dumb because there's nobody. And I remember my dad got so heated, so upset about this. And then it was one of those conversations. My dad's like, well, we're not going to stay here, you know, if that's what we have to. So we fucking left.
Damn.
My dad was like, we're
Right,
leaving.
see ya.
We went to another campsite the next day. Nobody was around. It was like a Wednesday. No problem. Kept laughing about RuneScape jokes that my dad didn't quite understand. And that was it.
Well, y'all have to let us know your craziest neighbor or maybe next door app experience if you've been called out on there before.
Yeah.
If you've been called out on a next door, I want to
Or like
see
community group.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
I'll show you the time that I got absolutely blasted on Facebook for the Ferrari being parked in a handicap spot when it wasn't even my fault. Did I ever tell you about that?
Was a handicapped person driving your Ferrari?
No. It was.
Then I don't know how it wasn't your fault.
It was asshole parking Facebook group. The car was at or Classic Mechanics getting the frunk fixed, and Pat pulled it out and parked it in the handicap spot. Pat did.
The mechanic?
The mechanic did. There's nobody in the fucking. There's nobody.
Is he disabled?
No, there's nobody in the parking lot, right? There's nobody in the parking lot. Somebody is driving off the road, sees the Ferrari in the handicap spot, pulls off, pulls into the business.
Click.
It's shut down. It's closed, dude. The business is closed. Takes a picture, posts it, says, whoever has this car, you're an idiot for parking
And I'm
here.
sure everyone recognized and started tagging you.
Everyone.
Oh, dude.
Everyone, dude.
You're like, what?
I don't even have it.
Just because you have money doesn't mean you have
Oh,
taste.
man.
Oh, I bet this person's a Republican. Oh, this guy doesn't care about anybody else.
no.
Typical Ferrari owners. I'm like,
When was this?
I was like 2 summers ago, but it was like, I was like,
God.
it wasn't even me.
I didn't even know about that. That's crazy.
So then I left a tag on it. I literally tagged, I think it was Pat. And I was like, Pat, you left your Ferrari.
Please move my car.
That's crazy.
Anyway, we appreciate you guys and gals so much for listening to the MartiniWorks podcast. Please don't forget, if you're looking for car parts, mod your car at MartiniWorks.com. If you want to break up those car payments into something a little bit more affordable, we do have a firm. We have Catapult, so as low as 0% financing. You can actually get your loan originated with Catapult for $1, which is pretty sick. And of course, we have a bunch of new brands on the website right now. We have Motegi now. We've got new rotiforms. We've got some new brands coming on. We're working on Stillen right now, which is very, very cool. So if you're interested in any of those parts and you have questions on fitment, you can reach out to us there. We also want to give another shout out to our last partner, the MartiniWorks Podcast, Fortune Auto. If you guys are looking to get a set of coilovers for your car, now is a great time. You still got a bunch of summer left. We actually just installed 500 series into Becca's M4.
Nice.
It was awesome because it was equipped and built to go into an M4, which meant that everything was where it was supposed to be, which you'd be shocked at sometimes when you look
Honestly.
at some of these cars that might be a little different or maybe a little bit fancier. You know, the M4 Comp, it has dynamic suspension. It's got a bunch of sensors. It's got all this stuff that sometimes other suspension companies don't adjust their lower threaded mounts to have those connecting points. They don't have all that, so you end up zip tying it or doing something weird with it. And the Fortunatos had everything that we needed, which was super nice. So a lot of times that attention to detail means you are paying a little bit more. Fortunatos are not the cheapest, but they're 100% the best. Completely rebuildable. You can customize them out if you want to. You can upgrade them in the future if you'd like to. And that's why we'd like to say thank you, Fortunato, for being a sponsor of the MartiniWorks podcast. You can find those also at MartiniWorks.com.
Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
PP Doc.
PP Doc.